This is a terrible idea. Hi, interwebs. Welcome back to I Destroy My Life on the Internet.
Is this a series?
No, not
Okay.
yet.
I'll make it a series.
While cleaning my room the other day, I found this fanfiction that I wrote when I was about 13 or 14. And when I was absolutely obsessed with the Lord of the Rings. I still kind of am, but like this was even more so. So it's called The All-Powerful Ring.
I remember you reading
and
this
then
to
underneath it, history repeats.
I have one memory of this book, and it's me sitting on my bunk bed, like on the top bunk, and you reading like this Coldplay story part thing, and we were all like, wow, we're like actually cold. You're so great at writing. I remember.
So this was supposed to be a trilogy. So this is the first book in what was supposed to be a trilogy, and I got maybe 3 or 4 chapters into the second book and gave up.
I remember that.
Okay.
You had them like run off like Frodo and Sam with that. I remember that too.
Yeah.
Don't remember anything
So
else.
there's 14 chapters.
Ooh.
Depending on how long each chapter is and how long it takes for us to get through.
Lillian's dream.
I would love to do.
You loved the name Lillian.
I do. I still do. I like the name Lillian.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I hate this.
It just reminds me.
I don't want to do this. Oh, let me read the dedication, okay? I always dedicated my books.
Yes.
This book is dedicated to my friend Erin Hayter, who I don't even talk to anymore, for introducing this amazing world to me and for answering all my questions about it. To my other friend, Chloe Liptak, I also don't talk to her anymore, for keeping me addicted to it, and for my mom for watching the Lord of the Rings movies with me without reading the books first. Thank you so much for everything you did to help me fall in love with Middle-earth. That still stands.
Except for the other two.
Alright. Alright, chapter 1 is Strange Visitor. I hate my life.
That's not a part of it.
Lillian was a normal hobbit.
Oh, good.
The only 2 things that were abnormal about her was that Bilbo and Frodo Baggins were her ancestors, and that she didn't like attention and preferred to stay at home in her hobbit hole, reading about the world outside of the Shire.
Okay, wait 1 second. Pause. Who is she, like, directly related to? Like, the Bagginses? Because, like, Frodo wasn't even...
Yeah, the more
And Frodo never had any kids.
When I think about it now... It doesn't
Bilbo,
make sense.
Bilbo had a saucy love affair.
I don't know, maybe it was like the Sackville Bagginses.
Maybe, oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about that.
I was a preteen. I was not thinking this through. Okay, she had long chestnut-colored hair that even in a braid that she always had in it, that even in the braid that she always had in it, almost reached the floor, and sea green eyes. She took after her ancestor Frodo and was fairer than most hobbits. As well as having a good sense of humor, she prided herself in collecting jewelry, especially rings. Character setup. But one certain day, at the beginning of autumn and right after her 45th birthday, her happy and content life would change with a knock at her door. Why 45? Was I too afraid to make her 50?
Yes.
I guess I didn't want to make her 50. Oh. Lillian heard the knock and looked up from her book, confused. Her friend Agela, A-G-E-L-A, was coming over for tea later that day, but it was just after breakfast, too early for visitors. Where were we? Oh, okay.
Hair.
We have gotten 2 paragraphs in. Ugh.
Wow.
Lillian heard the knock and looked up from her book, confused. Her friend Agela was coming over for tea later that day, but it was just after breakfast, too early for visitors. She put a bookmark in her book and went to go open the door, but when she did so, she was so surprised that she stepped back. Standing on her stoop was a tall man, in no way a hobbit. He was dressed entirely... Oh, I remember this paragraph. So I wrote this paragraph as a creative writing school assignment. So that's why it's so in-depth, is then like it's so much more in depth than the rest of the book, is because I had to write it for an assignment. Okay.
You don't like describing things.
No, I don't. I prefer. Okay, when I was younger, I fancied myself an action writer.
I've always been like romanticism. Let's use 30 adjectives in one sentence.
You do that.
I do that.
He was dressed entirely in deep forest green robes that swept down to his feet, hiding them from sight. Hiding his feet. Okay, yeah, hiding his feet from sight. He wore a hat that was the same color. It was the same shade of green, but unlike any hat Lillian had ever seen, with a wide brim and a pointed top that reminded her of a chimney. What a run-on sentence. All of his clothes looked like they had been worn every day for the past few centuries, covered in mud, sticks, leaves, threadbare patches, and who knows what else. But that was not what caught Lily's attention. What took it was his face. He looked to be a few years over 80, but there was a youngness in his face and in the way that he stood. Most of his face was covered with a curly beard, the color of gray chalk, with specks and streaks of black here and there, and his eyes stood out like a dessert dish at second breakfast. Wow, what an analogy. They were bright emerald, so purely emerald that it seemed impossible, and they were sharp and alert.
Is he a wizard the green?
Yeah.
I'm taking a wild guess here.
So this also brings up an issue, because there were the two blue wizards. There was Saruman the white, Gandalf the gray, and Radagast the brown.
Radagast.
And that was it.
Excuse me, is Saruman the very colorful?
The Saruman of many colors.
I thought that was the best part of the book.
Colors.
He was like, I am now colorful. I'm like, yeah, big dip. We're still calling you Saruman the White.
I am handsome, I feel smart. I'm a walking
work of art.
Oh gosh. They bore into... Oh, this is still his eyes. They bore into Lillian with a gaze so strong that she could not blink, though she desperately wished to. When he finally
Should have
spoke...
changed it to breathe.
When he finally spoke, his voice was deep and gravelly, as if he had a sore throat and some cruel person had rubbed sharp rocks onto it. I'm not gonna do voices.
I am that cruel person.
Are you Lillian Baggins? The man asked. Lillian could only nod. Her mouth had gone dry. I'm sorry to bother you at an hour like this.
Wasn't it just
but I have a very important...
Okay, never mind.
But I have a very important and serious matter to discuss with you. May I come in?
No.
I know, right? Lillian nodded again, opening the door wider and stepping aside. The man took off his hat and stepped in, stomping his boots on the doorstep rug. Lillian shut the door behind the man, rather impressed with his manners. Then she found her voice. I'm sorry, but who are you? She asked shakily.
Had she lost it?
Yeah, she couldn't... Oh, no! She couldn't blink. But it didn't say anything about her voice.
She, like, talks with her eyes.
I'm gonna continue.
Too much sugar. Too much sugar.
The man chuckled, a hearty but serious sound, if that was even possible. Alright, you ready for this name?
Oh, yes.
I am Elot the Green, a wizard. Do you possibly think you could make some tea?
He's a lot of fun.
Yellow tea. Elot the Green. Lillian nodded, dumbstruck again. She went into her kitchen and started a pot of tea, pondering what the man had said. What would a wizard want with me, she thought, preparing a teacup. When the tea was ready, she took it to the wizard, who was sitting in the living room on a chair that was too small for him. In fact, he was a giant compared to Lillian, who was only 2'10", small for a hobbit.
Dang.
Okay, I remember this distinctly because I went and I looked up the average height of a hobbit, and then I made it below average.
Look at you.
I know, so right? Fancy. I did my research.
Looking up the hobbits' sizable yardstick.
Yeah, Yobbits.
Yobbits!
Hobbits are, I think, on average, like 3'6".
Wait, what was she? Like 2 foot?
2'10".
Dang, she's small.
I know, she's really small.
She's like a child.
The wizard was looking around the living room, pointing to random objects and muttering to himself. It was only when Lillian...
That's not true. He's not in the house.
Sheep.
Sheep.
It was only when Lillian started to pour his tea that he looked at her. I hope you'll excuse me, he said upon seeing Lillian's expression. It's just that bag end is exactly how my mentor described it, oh lord. Lillian gave the teacup to the wizard and found her voice again. Wait,
He has a mentor?
no, she lost her voice again somewhere.
Oh.
Man, she keeps misplacing it.
Yeah, she needs to, like, keep better track of her voice.
Who is your mentor, she asked, sitting down in a chair facing the man.
I have a feeling it's gonna be Gandalf.
It was,
Taking a
he
random
was
guess.
Gandalf the Gay.
Gandalf the Gay, well, you're not wrong. We're gonna see Gandalf the same again.
Oh god! See, he should have been the one of many colors. He was Gandalf the Grey, or in his form now, Gandalf the White.
Oh!
Lillian started and sat up straight. Oh god.
It
The
is
Gandalf,
fun.
the one who led my ancestors on their adventures. The Gandalf, the one who led my ancestors on their adventures. She practically shouted. She was so in awe and disbelief. Not disbelief. Disbelieve. Yes, the very one, said the wizard, his beard twitching with a faint smile. Well, that's a good description. He is the reason I am a wizard as well. But that makes
That's
no
good.
sense, Lillian said. Gandalf went to the Grey Havens with my ancestors, Bilbo and Frodo. Bilbo and Frodo are her ancestors, by the way. I don't know if you picked up on that. Okay, cool.
She's living in Bag End. Yeah, I guess she is a Sackville Baggins.
The wizard took a sip of his tea. I found a way into the Grey Havens when I was young and unknowing, he said. Gandalf was so impressed with me, he instructed me in magic and sent me back to Middle-earth to do what he could not. There was a silence for a moment as Lillian took all this in.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you have just been like, oh, he taught me before he went to the Grey Havens and I am actually 1 million years old?
Because
He found his way into the Grey Havens.
I was really
That makes
obsessed with the idea of the Grey Havens when I was,
That makes sense.
yeah. In the grant, so I wanted
If people
this,
could just find their way into the Grey Havens.
so I had the
go on.
entire trilogy planned out, right? So and then I also
Were
planned...
they gonna throw this ring in a fire?
Yeah. I forget what... I think they actually do go to Mount Doom.
It's basically the whole, like,
history,
it repeats itself.
yeah.
thing from How to Train Your Dragon.
It is. So then,
Except
okay.
that one's a lot nicely dumb.
Okay, so then it's, okay, so
Does
it's
she
supposed to
go
be a
to
trilogy, and then there was a spin-off book about her daughter. And then,
Wow, and you only read
at
one.
the end of that book, she goes to the Grey Havens.
Lillian?
Yeah.
Why
Okay.
does she deserve to do that?
I don't know.
Is there an Aragorn type character in this?
No, but there is Legolas.
Legolas is in this?
No, it's a Legolas type character.
Why did you put Aragorn? Aragorn's obviously.
I don't know, because I didn't appreciate Aragorn when I was...
Wow, I don't
Younger, I know.
appreciate younger you.
I don't appreciate younger me either.
I know Aragorn is fantastic. I knew he was.
There was
He's
a
on my
silence
list.
for a moment as Lillian took all this in. The wizard took another sip of his tea and then his face darkened. I'm here on account of something very serious, he said, handing the teacup back to Lillian. It is concerning a ring. A ring? Asked Lillian. She was starting to get a headache from all of the things this man was telling her. Oh gosh, no, and then I have to mirror the first book. Can you not hear me? Said the wizard. The room suddenly got darker and Lillian cowered back. The wizard stood suddenly, cracked his head on the ceiling. He sat back down and rubbed his head. I'm sorry, he said. The room became full of light again. This is a very important matter, not to be joked with. I understand you are a collector of rings? Yes, Lillian said. I've quite a few of them.
Why does a lot have, like, anger issues?
I don't know.
Because that was not really, like, a time to get angry. He's kind of freaking me out.
Will you show them to me, the wizard asked. Why not? It won't hurt anything, Lillian thought. Of course, she said, putting the teacup down. Follow me. Lillian led the wizard through the hall to one of the farthermost rooms. Lillian used it mainly as one of the libraries that she kept all of the books she was finished with, but she also kept her rings in a box on a table. Here they are, she said with a relish, opening the box. Inside were dozens of rings, from plain gold ones to ones that consisted of just one type of jewel. She was very proud of them.
What about ones that have multiple jewels?
I don't know. But the wizard just dumped the box out on the table and started looking through them like they were nothing, muttering to himself and throwing the ones he was not looking for behind him, leaving Lillian to try and catch the rings before they hit the wood floor of the library and shattered or dented. That was a run-on sentence.
Oh.
I was really bad at those.
They shatter or dent.
I know.
What kind of rings do you have that they shatter?
Rings can shatter.
I've never seen a ring shatter.
Well, like if you had a jewel in them that were was maybe flimsy.
Maybe they're made out of the same things that like Aragorn's necklace is made out of. So
maybe.
It's just very flimsy material. It just.
Suddenly, the wizard froze, standing there holding something in his hand. Lillian, panting, put down all of the rings she had caught back in the box and stood on tiptoe to see what the wizard was holding. It was one of the Lillian's
She should come up to
rings.
like his knee.
Oh, I have this ring. Hold on. This is it.
Wait, does it fit me? Why can't I have it?
This was the ring that I based this ring off of.
Right.
I know,
totally
it's tiny.
fits me.
I think it was Mom's when she was younger.
It totally will fit me. One ring, two.
It was one of Lillian's uglier rings.
Maybe roll a couple of them.
Twisted gold band with a black oval shape. With a back oval shaped stone set in it.
Back over.
The only reason Lillian had bought it is because she wanted it for her collection. Is that what you're looking for? She asked. Yes, oh gosh. Yes, the wizard said, fingering it. This is it.
Uh-oh.
Suddenly, he turned around to face her. This, Lillian, is the all-powerful ring. It could do anything from invisibility to transportation to appearance altering. Okay.
You sure don't
Question.
go this way?
I have an issue now. Okay, so this is transportation, and they go on this whole like journey adventure thing.
Oh, frick. So I guess you never learned the transportation part.
Lillian looked at the ring he had in his hand and folded her arms across her chest. I don't believe you, she said, looking the wizard in the eyes and making a face. You should, the wizard said seriously. There are very dangerous things looking for this.
You sure she's a 3-year-old and not a 45-year-old?
Yeah, I know, right? I'll show you how it works. He gave Lillian the ring. Put it on, he said.
What is her character?
Lillian, still looking skeptical, did so. Now touch the black stone in the center and whisper into it what you want it to do.
Die.
If this even works, what should I do? Lillian asked. Let us be safe and just do invisibility, the wizard said. Lillian touched the black stone.
Be destroyed, you stupid all-powerful
I know. Lillian touched the black stone and felt a shiver go down her entire body.
Oh, dang.
She whispered invisibility into the stone, and immediately felt a strange sensation all around her, as if she had gotten out of a warm bath and someone had poured ice water on her. And this is another terrible run-on sentence. And on her finger was a burning pain where the ring was. She looked at the wizard, who was a little bit blurry for some reason, and asked, "Did it work?" The wizard had a strange look on his face, one of amusement and fear.
Frickin' look in the mirror.
Look in a mirror and see for yourself, he said.
Oh no, this ring's not gonna get off me.
Is it stuck?
No. Yes.
Lillian walked across the hallway to the guest bedroom where she had a mirror. When she looked at her reflection, she screamed because there was no reflection.
Right.
She could feel herself. She knew she was there, but she couldn't see herself.
I got it.
It was a very strange feeling. Too strange for her. 2 with 1 O, not 2. Not 2.
Too strange.
It was too strange for her. Lillian pulled off the ring, and instantly her reflection was in the mirror. She looked herself over, breathing a sigh of relief when she found she was all there. Suddenly, the wizard appeared behind her in the mirror, making her jump. Please don't do that again, she said, raising a hand to her heart. Now, do you believe me? The wizard asked. Lillian nodded. But this can't be happening, she said. This is what happened to my ancestors centuries ago.
Actually,
it can't
this
be
one.
happening again. It just isn't possible. It is
Yes.
possible. History was repeating, said the wizard. He bent down so that he was eye to
So
eye
Sauron
with
is
Lillian.
back.
I don't think it's Sauron.
Frick.
I think it's
Ronald.
I think it's an evil elf.
What?
It is! They're very dangerous creatures looking for that ring, Lillian, and all of them are under the command of a very evil elf named Eslan. He said, Lillian shivered when she heard that name. She couldn't help it. The wizard straightened up as far as he could with the low ceiling and continued. You have a choice, he said. Either go on a journey to the Fire Mountains to destroy the ring, or wait here at your home until some orc or goblin or the like comes and kills you and takes the ring and destroys Middle Earth and rules it forcefully.
Can't you just take it, you Dumbo?
I know, right? Lillian didn't have to think for 3 seconds. I'll go on the journey, she said. The wizard nodded his head in satisfaction.
Transport to Fire Mountain,
I know,
please.
right? You may take 3 companions with you, he said, starting to walk to the front door. I will be here at this time tomorrow.
Why 3? No, 2 would have made more sense.
He
'cause
bowed
3
and
is company.
smiled. He smiled and then
It's not in the
left.
book.
Lillian stood on her stoop, watching him leave, clutching the ring in her hand.
That
End of
was
chapter 1.
The shortest. You know, in the actual book, it's like really long. It's like a giant freaking chapter just dedicated to like Edel coming and going and being like, we need to get this right. And it's like 10 years, and then they're like, yeah, we're actually gonna do this now.
Alright, I think I'm going to stop this video there.
The forming of the
And
first
we're gonna-
company.
We're going to take a break, and then I'm going to make... We can do one more video of the second chapter, but I'm going to make them 2 separate videos.
Okay.
Alright, thanks for listening to my stupid book.
I thought it was great. I'd buy it.
If you want more, I guess I'm doing more. There's 14 chapters in this thing.
I think
I
Grace,
have concept art too.
I'm pretty.
I hope you enjoyed this.
I hope you did. I did.
I don't enjoy this. And
Bunny missing
we'll see
an
you.
eye?
Yeah.
Now it has no eyes. So the eyeless buddy says farewell.
Alright, see you in the next video.